My name is Madame Donut.
My name is Alyse Jenkins.
My name is Cindi Nand. I'm a natural food chef. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, but I've lived on Maui for 31 years. How long have I been a chef? I think it's always been in me, but I would have to say, let's go way back to, see, Jonty was born, at least 1977. I've actively created food. I first started out in college getting jobs in restaurants, so I was a waitress, I was a bartender, and I did some prep cooking, and I worked in the kitchen, and I began to soak up all kinds of knowledge from different kinds of restaurants that did different kinds of food, and I began to incorporate it into my own style. Here on Maui it's called like the Pacific Rim style. Very fresh, very local, very alive and colorful. Living on Maui has provided me with an abundance of beautiful local produce that you can't get anywhere else. So my creativity came from using coconuts right from the tree, mac nuts, taro, breadfruit, wild tropical fruits, rambutans, ice cream bean, just the most beautiful array of colorful produce, locally grown produce that has stimulated me to a whole new level.
I'm a pastry chef, but I specialize in artisanal donuts. I'm originally from the Philippines. I grew up in the small town called Darapidap. I've been on Maui for about 9 years now. Maui's been very welcoming, and I feel like the community's been very supportive with what I do. I have neighbors who come and bring me fruits from their backyard, and then I use them to make different flavors for my donuts, and I feel like it just keeps feeding this need of mine to keep creating, to feed people. And hey, they keep coming, I keep making them, and it's been an awesome experience, and it really allows me to be open-minded with ingredients that I probably have not worked with before, because I work with a lot that are given to me, and so there's this literally give and take, and it just sparks that creativity that you probably wouldn't have if you had this mindset going to a market or to a store and say, hey, this is my list of groceries and that's what I'm gonna make for dinner or for dessert. But instead I am given this like blank slate every day when somebody just walks in and is like, oh, I got this poha berries and I just have this much, you want to play? And I'm like, yeah. So it's awesome. There's no ending to what I could possibly make. It's all these possibilities. It's awesome. Yeah. I've been a pastry chef for about 13, 14 years now. I went to the Culinary Institute of America and I focused on baking and pastry. And then for many years I worked at a few fine dining restaurants in San Francisco as a pastry chef until I created Donut Dynamite.
I am the kind of chef that really loves clean, pure food. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I currently live on Maui. I have been able to take all these wonderful tropical flavors and infuse them into the basic things that I already know. Plus I've been learning from local cooks and chefs and stuff the way to use the local way. It's so different here than it is in other places, but it's affected me very much. So, how long have I been a chef? I think I'm going on about 20 years now. I started baking when I was 4. My family encouraged me to bake and cook, and as soon as I was old enough to ask somebody to turn the oven on for me, I did.
I did not go to culinary school. I like to say I went to the school of life. I have been in the food service industry all my adult life. So I picked up knowledge and practice and found what I can do best and followed that. So for me, my inspiration definitely comes from my heart. I touch base with my heart and then I create. What makes my cooking style unique? Me! Me! I think it's really, truthfully, my food is recognizable, it's simple, it's easy, it's delicious and colorful, but I think what makes it so unique is me. I'm so ecstatic in the kitchen, and so when I'm serving it, when I'm cooking it, when I'm preparing it, it's just such a joy for me, and people like coming in the kitchen and hanging out and laughing and dancing with me. My cooking follows a theme and a style. The parameters, especially for workshops and retreats, the menu needs to be affordable, easy to prepare, and easy to digest. It also needs to be seasonal and local as much as possible, and then prepared with a lot of joy and a lot of beauty. Oh, what is my food philosophy? Oh, how much time do you have? Food, the whole reason I do this is to bring joy to you. That's my philosophy. I have so much fun in the kitchen, singing, dancing, laughing, creating food that is beautiful and exquisite. And if I can see you smile for 15 minutes when you can sit down and eat, you've made my day. That's my philosophy. Fun food.
I believe in fresh. I grew up where we didn't have refrigeration. I grew up in the boonies. So we cooked 3 times a day for our meals. I never owned a microwave oven because everything is just like, okay, what do you have in your backyard? What did my mom grow or raise for us to eat? So as I've gotten older and I've been exposed to other ingredients, I still really prefer fresh. I think now, like these days, there's so many really cool cooking techniques. And it's great, I like learning all of them, but to me fresh is first and foremost. There's a lot of trendy ways to cook now, but if you have fresh ingredients, that never goes out of style, and that's my food philosophy. Keep it fresh. What inspires me is the community in many ways. I feel like I create with my community when my neighbors and friends bring me different ingredients or different produce or their backyard bounty, if you will. I like to create from what's given to me or what the Aina offers, whatever is seasonal. So it's never ending. You know, I don't usually start my day thinking, okay, what's in my grocery list, and that's what I'm going to create. So we change the menu daily, because on any given day somebody could give me like a bunch of bananas, then I will work with that, or a bunch of poha berries, and I will work with that. People send me different fruits all the time, and I just love creating based on what's fresh. I specialize in brioche donuts, so theme in general is making everything handcrafted. Everything's made in-house. Nothing comes out of a box or a can and goes straight onto our donuts. For example, somebody had asked me if we do sprinkles donuts, and I said at first no, because the idea is you buy a box of sprinkles and then you put it on a donut or a cake. And then I realized, why not make my own sprinkles? Because that is my philosophy, and that is the way I make things. So I decided I'll just make them, and I make sprinkles now my own way.
What is my favorite cooking tools to work with? Definitely an 8-inch chef knife, a nice paring knife, and some good wooden spoons. Does my cooking follow a theme or a certain style? Definitely the Pan-Pacific style, because I grew up in Seattle. I love Asian food. I studied Japanese food in school, so I definitely tend to lean more towards Asian cuisine. But when I think about like soul food and like barbecue and mac and cheese, then I'm leaning over to the other side again. So it's whatever I feel like, really. I cook with authenticity. I want it to be as authentic as it would be if your grandmother was making it. I have this gut feeling that I feel like it's my job to feed people and to feed them food that's going to make them feel good. My favorite pastry to make is always going to be croissants. Laminated dough is a special place in my heart. So delicious.
Do I have a favorite dish to make? Gosh, can I even choose? So I'm going to say a category. A category I like making the most, where I feel most creative, is sauces. Dressings and sauces and gravies. Those can be really exciting for me. And as it turns out now, I have become a very good gluten-free baker. And I make a lot of gluten-free cakes and cornbreads, things that are really, really great. So that's my new specialty. What motivates me? Love, happiness, joy, fun, people. There have been many chefs that have inspired me throughout the years. A lot of the chefs on Food Network, I used to watch them. Bev Gannon here on Maui is a great inspiration to me. My mentor, of course, Christine Shaw. Cynthia Burke, who I worked with for 5 years at the Courtyard Deli, was a huge influence on me.
I think it's always going to be female chefs that have persevered and really worked hard. I've come across a lot of different kinds of chefs, and we don't all have the same standards, but the females, we have to work so hard. And once you get a lady that's made it and she's there, she's got her own place, and you're just like, you did it! And that's I admire that.
Impact was one of my chef instructors back at the Culinary Institute of America. His name is Chef Durfee. He was the original pastry chef for the French Laundry in Napa, and he created a donut and coffee dessert on the menu. Now, prior to that, I had worked at Dunkin' Donuts, and of course, we know donuts as we know them. They're kind of the underdog of pastries, if you will. You know, if there's a worse pastry, usually donuts would be on the top of the list. So I thought to put a donut on a dessert menu in one of the most prestigious restaurants in the world was ballsy. And he basically showed me that you can take anything, a really humble dish or dessert or pastry, and elevate it to that level where it's included in a $200 menu. I was like, huh, I never thought of that, because obviously I was young in the industry. And basically he showed me what you can do, and don't do the same thing that people are doing, because that's kind of boring. If you're a creative, you should be able to see possibilities in anything, right? And that's what he inspired me to do, is like to look at something familiar and do something else with it. Especially being able to live authentically, to be able to do what I do. I think a lot of creatives can create, but sometimes they don't actually get the credit for it. I'm able to do what I want, express my story through everything that I make every day, and I get to share that with my guests, basically my friends and family who come into my shop. that is why I say my shop is like my home. And I invite people to come in, and I get to share my food that comes from my heart and my mind and my spirit, and they get to taste it. They get to taste me in a way, you know? What is my favorite donut to make? It's the lilikoi caramel meringue. I say that because I love lilikoi. Just the name of it, lilikoi. It's so romantic. And then you say it in English, passion fruit. Like, really? Can you call it any other name but something amazing? I love the tartness of it. I like it to come through. And I love making meringue. Something about that cloud-like sweet thing that you put on something that's tart, like sweet and tart. Even that alone, sweet tart. I mean, hello, how magical is that? It's like, I love it. I love the way it's called. I love the way it tastes. I love the way it looks. Favorite?
Well, I have learned to expand my knowledge of different diets, because when you're working with a lot of people at workshops, it's very important that they get the food that they need. So I became very well versed at vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free. I can do meats, soy-free, corn-free, paleo. All of those I'm very well versed in all of those, and use them all the time. Offer those. How does my personality reflect in my work? Come in the kitchen one day and watch. You'll see how much fun I have. It's like an amazing transformation when I walk in the door. The rest of the life, my problems, the bills, it's all gone. And I step into the kitchen and it's like joy, happiness, laughter. And this just comes from inside of me. I guess it's part of my personality. It's something that I just love. There are 3 things I cannot live without in a kitchen. One would be the food processor, one would be a blender, and of course one would be a very sharp knife. What do I love most about being a chef? Bringing joy to other people. That is my whole reason for doing this, is to feel my heart, feel my love, and share it with you. Well, here on Maui, we have a really terrific health food store called Mana Foods in Paia. I do the majority of my shopping there. But I also have some local vendors that I go to. The Maui Tempeh Company produces beautiful local aduki bean tempeh. Rainbow Organics gets spring mix and spinach and fresh mushrooms. I have a contact in Kula for honey. So I have a whole array of really lovely people that I can support. It's a beautiful exchange. My favorite local ingredients to work with are probably first and foremost would be mango. And all the tropical fruits. Lilikoi is one of my favorites. Then I love incorporating fresh coconuts, where we can get the coconut water, then get the meat and make cream for soups. I love incorporating taro and breadfruit. We call that ulu here. Ulu is a terrific local staple here in Hawaii. So those are really my favorites. I grow lots of greens, fresh greens, and all my herbs, of course. And I like growing flowers as well, because I can use them for decorating the table. I have edible flowers for decorating the salad. Here in Hawaii, they're called tea leaves, T-I. Those are wonderful for decorating the table. So it pays off to have my own garden. Who would I most like to cook for? Well, I have a dream, of course. I would love to cook for Oprah Winfrey. I just would love that. She would love my food. I would also really like to cook for Ellen DeGeneres and her wife. I know she would love my food, and I know she would love it to see me dancing in the kitchen. I know Ellen would love this, so that's my dream, Ellen. Let me dance and cook for you. If I could go anywhere in the world and learn more about food, first up, Paris. Then maybe Rome, Spain, Australia. Oh yeah, Paris. We got to go to Paris. We got to learn French food. Oh my God, so many things, so many places. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to learn. I lay in bed at night reading cookbooks like most people read novels. I just want to keep learning and expanding. So let's go to Paris.
London, Paris. There's nowhere else. It's like Paris first and London, but it's close, so it's not a big deal. I think it's for the people who can't eat anything. The people that just everything makes them sick, and no matter how hard they try, when they go to regular restaurants, they just always get sick. Those are the people that I really bake for. I mean, I bake with flour and I bake with everything, but when I do my specialty baking, those are the people that I bake for, because I used to be one of those people. It's kind of interesting growing food at Maui because things just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and they get out of control so fast. So like starting small, but currently have papayas and bananas and Hawaiian sage. Being on a small island, it makes it easy because we all live so close together, and my neighbors might have eggs and my other neighbors might have papayas, and I might trade some of my pineapples for some lilikoi. It's pretty easy here. The main purveyors and providers of ingredients, like it's all on the list, and thank God for the non-GMO project. My favorite local ingredients to work with, hands down, always gonna be lilikoi. Coconut in any form, gosh, what's the other one that I like? Bananas. I do gluten-free almond cake. I do a gluten-free German chocolate cake, and just any little cookies, little almond flour cookies. They're pretty unique because they come from specific kind of regions that used things before flour was really big, but they're also healthy for you. You're actually getting nutrients and some sugar. As a pastry chef, what are 3 things I can't live without? Parchment paper, sheet pans, and hand soap. How does my personality reflect in my work? Well, I'm bright and shiny and sparkly. About how many different cuisines am I capable of producing? Japanese, Chinese, Korean, East Indian, Thai, soul food. There's more than that, a lot.